Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a CaitVi Listener by me. So let's get into it. The sting of the enforcer's grip on your arm was sharp, his fingers digging into your skin as he shoved you against the cold brick wall. The dimly lit streets of Zon offered no solace, the usual hum of activity dulled by the suffocating tension. You winced, but bit back a cry, refusing to give him the satisfaction. "Stop resisting, or your sentence will be worse." The enforcer barked, his voice gruff and filled with irritation. "I'm not resisting. You're not telling me what's going on," he said, squirming a little bit in his grip. He didn't seem to care. And before you could say another word, a commanding voice rang out from behind him. "Let go of them. Now." The enforcer froze, his hand loosening just slightly as he turned to face the source of the voice. Caitlyn was standing there, and she was only just a few feet away, her rifle slung over her shoulder. Her sharp blue eyes were narrower than a glare that could have pierced steel. "Commander Kierman," the enforcer stammered, clearly startled. You was just assaulting an innocent civilian. Release them immediately." Caitlyn interrupted, her voice icy. And reluctantly, the enforcer let go of your arm, stepping back as you stumbled slightly. Caitlyn was at your side in an instant, her hand steadying you as her gaze softened. "Are you all right?" she asked, her voice a stark contrast to the harsh tone she had just used. "I am fine. Just caught off guard," you murmured, though the throbbing pain in your arm said otherwise. "What the hell is going on here?" Another voice cut in, and he turned to see Vi approaching, her eyes blazing with anger. She took one look at you, her jaw tightening as she noticed the red marks on your arm. "Did he do this to you?" "It's nothing, really," you began, but Vi had already turned her fury on the enforcer. "What, so you think you can just rough up anyone you want because they've got a badge?" She snarled, stalking toward him. "Vi, I've got this," Caitlyn whispered to her, stepping in front of her, and Vi hesitated. Her fists clenched, but she turned and stepped back. Caitlyn turned her attention back to the enforcer, who was now visibly sweating under her glare. "Report to headquarters immediately. We'll be having a conversation about proper conduct and the consequences of abusing authority." "Yes, Commander," the enforcer muttered, quickly retreating into the shadows. And as soon as he was gone, Caitlyn turned back to you, her hands gentle as she inspected your arm. "This doesn't look fine. We need to get some ice on it," she said softly. "I'll take care of it," Vi said, her tone softer as she reached for your other hand. "Let's get you home." And the walk back to your shared apartment was quiet, the tension from the encounter lingering in the air. Vi kept the protective arm around your shoulders, while Caitlyn stayed close. And once inside, Caitlyn immediately went to fetch an ice pack, while Vi guided you to the couch. "You should have called out for any one of us, or you should have said something. We'd have been there in a second. I didn't think it would turn into that. I just wanted to get home," you admitted, leaning into her side. And Caitlyn returned with an ice pack, kneeling in front of you as she gently pressed it to your arm. "You shouldn't have to deal with things like this. I'm sorry." "It's not your fault," You stopped him before it got worse. You said, reaching out to take her hand, and Vi huffed, leaning back against the couch. Still, that guy's lucky Caitlyn got to him first. I don't care if he's an enforcer. I would have knocked him out. Caitlyn shot her a look, but there was no real reprimand in it. Violence does not solve everything, Vi. But it would have felt nice. Vi muttered, though the corners of her lips quirked up. He chuckled softly, the sound easing some of the tension in the room. I appreciate both of you. I don't know what to do without you. Caitlyn squeezed your hand, her expression softening. You'll never have to find out. We're here for you. Always. Vi nodded, leaning down to press a kiss to the top of your head. That's right. No one gets to mess with you and get away with it. Caitlyn couldn't help but smile at Vi's words. She was relieved that everything went right today, or at least that no more things went wrong. Already an encounter like this was enough for Vi to be a little bit more upset than usual about her having to be an enforcer, and she does not blame her. But it means she still has a lot of work to get done, especially if the way you were treated was simply the way that any Zonite would be. What would have happened if you were just someone normal who wasn't related to her? She felt guilty for not thinking about this, for not considering this. But right now, she could at least appreciate the fact that you were safe, and that you're alright. And Caitlyn knew she had a lot of work on her hands. After all, that couldn't be the only corrupt enforcer out there. There were certainly more, but for now, she won't think about it. And tomorrow, when she thinks of you, she can't help but think of Zon, and that she has to do better. For everyone, and especially for you, because you've helped her see things in a new light.